Welcome back to another episode of Ravens Roundup. We got our usual cast of characters. One's missing, but he will be here shortly. We got Jose from Lunch Break Hot Take, Sutton from Purple Rain Podcast, who you probably just finished watching. We got 1/3 of the Deep Cover Podcast, Kerry. The second third, Chris, will be here shortly. And then Mike, you'll probably see tomorrow when we do Chalk Talk. So this is a week 6 episode of Ravens Roundup. A lot of stuff to discuss, a lot of ups and downs to discuss, and we just gonna get right into it because we're in a conundrum right now. We got the fan base split on what to do going forward. We got defense playing a little bit better, but was that a fluke? Offense ran the ball a little bit better. Was that a fluke? And we're just gonna get into it and kind of see what everybody thinks about the different situations.
Coach, before we start, I just need to take a sip of water here out of this nice clean mug here. Look at that! Look at that Ravens Roundup.
Oh, that's nice. That's nice.
So, with that being said, and I meant to do this a while ago, and Jose, you doing that just reminded me. When we get off today, Kerry and Sutton, I got to get your address so I can send you. Hold it up, Jose. So I can send you one of them.
Yes, sir. Okay. Yeah, I need that.
Once we get off, I get the address, and I'm gonna send y'all one of them. Chris got a chalice, but he'll never drink out of it. He always drinking the water, like he's a health nut or something. But
he got to stay hydrated for his activities.
Right, but I will say this: the past 3 months, I lost 22.
That's what's up.
Oh man.
So been more consistent in the gym. Don't eat crazy like I used to, but it's working. So I'm gonna try to keep it up. I got back in there. I ain't go at all last week. Got back in there today, and actually seeing a little bit of results actually motivated me more to just stick to it. Like I couldn't wait to get back in there today. So
yeah,
I'm good with it. Hopefully I can get another 22 off.
Facts.
What's that, Jose? Try and get them arms like Jose.
Listen, I tell everybody, man, all of these arms fool you, man. This is just from carrying all these kids that I got. That's all. That's all it is.
But let's get into it because a lot of stuff has transpired. Matter of fact, let's start with this. And I didn't even put this one in now. The Deontay Johnson part 2 that popped off today. I would love to get you guys' opinions on that, and we can go around with everybody. What do you think about what happened and what transpired with Deontay Johnson today? I'm not Deontay Johnson. I'm sorry.
No, Deontay Johnson too. You nailed it, Coach. Like you said that. Like you said, man. I hope this isn't that type of situation. Why are you bringing in a guy like that if you don't have a plan for him?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like he wants to be on the field. You brought him in to bring that type of attitude, and you just like. We're not gonna play you yet. What you mean you're not gonna play me yet? Like that's what I'm here for. If I'm not gonna play, then don't bring me here.
Right. And it's the exact same situation. He just figured it out faster than Deontay Johnson did.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And maybe Deontay Johnson's situation was like the blueprint. Like, look, they ain't finna do me like they did him.
Yeah.
Especially when they 1-5 right now.
Right.
We don't got the juice like that, right now. So it's like. I can understand from his perspective. Like he's one of those kind of like middle of the pack, middle of the road, middle of his career kind of players who still thinks he's really good, but maybe some of the organizations just don't really agree. But he can kind of bounce around because he's serviceable, right?
Right.
He's not going to be one of these guys, especially with him being an attitude guy. He's not going to be one of these guys who is just going to, allow you to force him to buy in to what the Ravens got going on right now. Because what the Ravens got going on right now is a bunch of bullshit. Right.
Right.
To be quite frank with you. So it's like nobody's really gonna like let you string them along until you're ready to bring them on. This dude wants to play now. So I totally get it from CJGJ, especially after seeing Alohi Gilman. And I thought he played pretty well. I watched all the tape from the game this past week. He looked like he'd been around for a little while already with the Ravens. So I think with those two things, CJ was like, you know what, just let me go somewhere where I'm gonna actually get my services utilized. So I agree with him.
Care.
Like what do y'all be talking about, man, when y'all sign these dudes? Like, you offer them a contract and then y'all just talk about the weather? Like, is there a discussion on what's the plan? How do you see me fitting in? What, all of those things that you would think they're talking about, they can't be talking about. It was the same thing with Deontay Johnson. We're talking about two players that, Deontay was in a contract year. CJ is year to year now. They're playing for their next contract, their next job. They don't have time to be sitting around wasting time waiting. So if this isn't established beforehand, if y'all not having these conversations beforehand, like, why even put pen to paper? Or are you telling them something to lead them into the direction of thinking, okay, this is going to work out, to get them to sign, and then, pull the rug from under them after they sign, and then basically they're stuck. So it's another like puzzling situation. I know he signed on the same day that they made the trade for Gilman, I believe.
That's correct. He signed a little bit earlier, like 2 hours earlier.
Yeah. So, within a couple hours, but I'm pretty sure when that trade was finalized, it didn't just get finalized and you didn't know that you were going to get Gilman when you signed CJ. I'm pretty sure you had a pretty good idea that you were going to get Gilman. So, hey, man, have transparency, have these conversations. Hey, we're bringing this guy in. So, it's kind of up to you. We may not have 80% of the snaps for you, but we may have like 30 or 40. Let him decide then before, he signs, on the dotted line. It's just crazy.
True. They tried to lip boiler, I think. Go ahead, Jose.
Yeah, like you referenced Deontay Johnson, but we can go back in time. You know what this reminds me of?
What's that?
When the Ravens traded for T.O. Y'all remember that? The Ravens traded for T.O. He was a Raven, and T.O. was like, nah, I don't want to go there. I'm not playing. I'm not having Kyle Bowler throw me the ball. And he ended up with the Eagles.
It's crazy. It's crazy. It's I don't get. Okay, so I'll say this. If they really didn't know, which I doubt, that Aloha Gilman was on the table, I could see signing him. But I think they be trying to lip boy these guys that ain't playing like right now. Like, okay, we signed you ain't been playing. So you're going to sit on this practice squad till you deserve to play. And they might be better than what you got already, but why are you sitting them just because that's what you do? Which is crazy. And then when Goldman came in and played right now, that probably fueled the fire. But what I will say is for CJ, he handled it a lot better than Deontay did, and what some people would think he would have handled it. He didn't say, I don't think he said anything crazy. I don't think he did anything crazy. He just realized, hey, they ain't finna play me. And like Sutton said, we ain't got that juice. Like, cause last year when it was Deontay, like we had juice. We had a high record. We was like one of the best teams in the league. The offense was rolling. You can punk somebody when you there. Right now, we the ones getting punked.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
Here's what it is. And then lastly, before
dead end Ravens internship. That's all it is.
Before we get into the nuts and bolts, and I'm throwing new stuff at these guys that they ain't seen, but I know y'all done seen it happen. Mr. George Warhawk. One sentence. He said that he can't find much negative, and I'm paraphrasing, much negative to say about Falele and Voorhees going forward. Now, I tweeted out, like, what did people expect him to say? Like, he at least got to, come out and show confidence in those guys. He can't just come out and say, hey, I can't coach these two guards, man. I don't know, what it is. He had to say something positive, whether he believe it or not. Because I don't think he believe it. And if he do believe it, he definitely got to go too. But what do you think about what Warhawk said?
Man, his voice was cracking when he said it. I don't have much to say about these guys. You can be honest and say, hey, they have some things to work on, but they're getting better, right? Like you can be somewhat transparent. We see it, right? Like you don't have to lie to us. Like we see them playing bad. You can say, look, yes, they're making some mistakes out there, but they're putting in the work. The things that they're struggling with, they're cleaning up. And I'm telling you guys, they're like Coach said, like Harbaugh said, hey, they're close. You can say that, they might not be close, but you can say, hey, they're close, and we're working on it. But yes, we acknowledge some things that they got to fix. That's all. But to say there's no negatives, come on, man, we got eyes. What up, Chris?
Yeah, we got eyes.
Chris.
Yeah.
Now we just talk about what George Warhop said, and Jose was the first to kind of talk about it, so you can dive in, whenever you feel like it. We just talking about what Warhop. Did you see what he said?
Unfortunately, yeah.
Oh, okay. Thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, you don't have to bury the players. I mean, obviously, a coach is not going to get up there and be like, "Yeah, these motherfuckers suck." Like, of course, a coach is not going to do that. But it's disingenuous to say, "Yeah, they're getting better and better and better." Like, no. We have eyes.
Right.
There's ways to pump your guys up without having to blatantly lie to the other people who have eyes as well. But that seems to be the way to go within this organization right now, where it is everybody's drinking that Jim Jones Kool-Aid, and we will follow the leader type of thing.
Care?
Yeah, I think you hit it, Coach, perfectly with your tweet. Like, what was he supposed to say? I think he's probably, I don't know if Warhop is on social media, probably not, but he's probably gotten wind that, hey, man, my guys is on here getting cooked every day. so he might be trying to use this as some kind of, pat on the back. They kind of, amp these guys up a little bit, maybe, but like Jose said, like there's a way to go about it. You don't have to tear the guys down, but you can be honest at the same time, and that will make people kind of respect what you're saying and kind of take what you're saying a little bit more seriously than, oh man, he's playing great. And again, we all have eyes. Like I was watching the game earlier. And y'all remember that I got another song. You remember that was it David Banner, Like a Pimp, when he kept saying real girls get down on the floor. I think Lele thought he was saying real guards get down on the floor. Because every time I turn around, this dude is the clumsiest dude. Every time I turn around, he on the ground.
Every time.
I remember I used to talk about Meg the Simpson, about how he was always on the ground twerking. We might have to change that.
Way worse.
Might have to change that because Lele stay on it. Like when I was previewing the video, Sebastian, and he may be in here or not because I don't have the chat up. Sebastian just kept asking me, Coach, let's keep a count of how many times he's on the ground. I couldn't do it at the time, but he was on the ground a lot. It was almost like 21 Savage. How many times he on the ground? A lot.
Yeah. I mean, when it comes to Warhop, I think my biggest issue with the things that he said, because like Chris said, it sounds disingenuous when you get up there and you say things that clearly is like refuted in the film. Now, my problem is John Harbaugh just yesterday and even last week as well made it clear and obvious to the media that offensive line changes are totally on the table. We're exploring all options, right? So I would have thought that with the backing of your head coach, it would have made it easier on George Warhop to take the approach like Jose said and basically say in so many words, we're just going to make sure we got the best guys ready to go coming out of the bye against the Bears. That's all you really had to say. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to say like, okay, or you could have even taken the angle of, hey, like it's not just one or two guys. We see struggles here and there from everybody. It's not just one or two guys. You don't have to highlight them, but you don't also have to say like, I don't see nothing wrong. They're getting better every week. When literally every week on social media, there's more and more and more clips and footage that are surfacing of him so often on the ground, whiffing on blocks, lunging ahead and getting slapped into the ground by Jared Verse, even though he's a great player. But like the proof is in the pudding. You know what I mean? You don't have to insult your intelligence. You don't have to insult our intelligence. Just be on the same page with your head coach. And I think that that's another really big issue that I have with all of this, because it seems like This is the third instance of somebody not being on the same page as John Harbaugh. Cooper
True.
Rush wasn't on the same page as John
For being
Harbaugh.
subbed out.
For being
subbed out. Mm-hmm.
Apparently, Todd Monken was not on the same page with John Harbaugh. John Harbaugh said those tush pushes were scripted. Those were predetermined plays. Todd Monken said he was second guessing himself, calling plays in short yardage goal line situations. It doesn't really seem like anybody's on the same page. So again, this all goes back to John Harbaugh for me.
And that's why when he says like he don't foresee him firing anybody, because you're the one that needs to be fired. Honestly, and that's the long and short of it. But let's dive into the actual questions that I sent y'all today, and we'll start with this first one. Let me get it where I can see it. Hold on, give me 1 second. Get bigger. There we go. All right, first question. They failed from the 1 yard line. We already know that. 2 tush pushes. And a 4th down run. After Derrick Henry got them there on the 1st and like 6, he got them to the 1. Was that a poor play calling, poor execution, or just overall clusterfuck?
I think if we run the ball 4 times with Derrick Henry up the middle and we don't get it, we just say, hey, man, that O-line, this guy get that push, right? There's nothing about the play calling. We're not talking about any of that stuff because 4 times Derrick Henry at the 1, you're supposed to get it. But this is what we always do, right? We take ourselves out of winning situations. If Derrick Henry's doing all that running and he one of the runs he ran right up the middle and put in the line got pushed, why aren't you going back to that? Why are you trying to get cute with a tush push, which you're not good at? Harbaugh said that after the game that you're not as good as the Eagles at doing it. Then why are you doing it, right? And then you do what was it like a toss on that 4th down? It was a run to the outside.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you already started him in a bad position. It was the most predictable play call, but like you don't do the obvious things, and everybody sees it. And you take yourselves out of position to score some easy points right there.
Yeah, that last play that Jose just brought up, the toss. You just watch the offensive line on that play; they just disintegrate. Like it was just bad all around, bad. And when you're in that position and you can't get 1 yard, I mean, it's embarrassing, And the players, it felt like everybody felt it because after that there was just nothing left. Like it was like the game was lost right there because you could just feel the air go out of the stadium once that happened. It was just like you had some momentum. You had the Rams playing pretty poorly in that first half. Drop passes, errant throws by Matt Stafford. It was an ugly game, and that's the way the Ravens needed it to be. They needed it to be an ugly game, and everything was kind of going their way as far as that ugly game theme. And then that happened right before the half, and it all just went downhill after that.
Kerry?
Yeah, so I'm on the other end probably on consensus on this. I would have ran 4 tush pushes. Hell, I would have ran 5 if they would have gave me 5. and I'll explain why. To me, coming out and running those, and regardless of what Warhop says, regardless of what Harbaugh says, regardless of what Eric DeCosta said, you come out and run those tush pushes, that's letting me know what you think about your interior offensive line and getting pushed in those situations. And that shows little confidence in them, and rightfully so.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm going to add another body to the equation and run the tush push because I just don't have confidence in this interior offensive line to get the push to get in and get that yard. It's the same. Sutton brought this up a few weeks ago, and it was something I thought about too with Henry when it's 3rd and 2, 3rd and 3 at times, and they'll pull him off the field and put Justice Hill in there. And you think just from the gravity alone that you would leave Henry in there. But again, this is a microcosm of their lack of confidence in the interior line. Monken is looking at this like, I know it's only 2 yards, but these guards get blown up. I'm just gonna give it to 8 and let him make a play. But now 8 is gone. You don't have 8 in there. So yeah, I'm running tush push. I wouldn't have ran that play to Henry on. I would have ran another tush push.
But then the positive about that is if you don't get it that third time, they on the inch line. They can't afford a mistake at all.
Yep.
With the play they ran, I think we lost like 3 or 4 yards and gave them a little cushion.
Yep.
Chris, you get in on this one?
Yeah, I went after Jose.
Yeah. I mean, that's a very interesting perspective that Kerry just brought, and I hadn't really thought about it that way until he brought it up. I think for me, like, yes, you're supposed to be able to get push enough for a yard or let alone a half a yard, right, on a tush push. But nothing that offensive line has shown in terms of, like, especially the interior of it has shown that they would be good in that type of situation. So I understand adding an extra body to it. I get that. But at the same time, man, I think it was the 5-yard run that coach has started this conversation about, that took the Ravens from the 6 to the 1. And I believe that's what set up 2nd and goal, I want to say. Correct. That set up 2nd and goal. And that play, the Rams that came out with 3 down D linemen. And I was thinking to myself, had the Ravens ran hurry up and maybe force the Rams to call a timeout so they can make a substitution or something like that to get an extra D lineman on the field, they would have just ran another run play with Derrick Henry right through that defense like Swiss cheese, and it'd have been an easy touchdown.
Yep.
But they decided to get up on the ball with Mark Andrews and tush push it in. By the way, you got Cooper Rush standing back there looking about as useless as can be because he's not doing anything on that. It seemed like they're like dead even in the middle. Like, maybe a mouse could come in and push one side and tip the whole thing over. Cooper Rush, get in there. It took him like 3 to 4 seconds to get in there and start to try to push the pile. Like, I don't want to hear you're trying to play safety just in case the ball pops out. You're not catching anybody or chasing anybody downfield. No way. So get in there and push the pile. I mean, it's just, I don't know, man. It all around to me, it just feels like mismanagement. And Todd Monken said it today, like he was second guessing himself. And it's clear and obvious that he is. And like, just don't outsmart yourself, right? Go with your gut. Your gut is going to be part of who you are, your identity as a team.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So it's just like, they got to go with their gut more. Todd Monken specifically, and Harbaugh.
Let me throw this out there to you, because John said something wild in a press conference about Mark doing it, because I think Cordell asked him about Derrick Henry doing the tush push. And he said that Derrick Henry hadn't taken under center snaps. And that's not something, you do without practice, which I totally agree with that 100%. But we've all seen Derrick Henry take shotgun snaps, and he's ran inside zone with a lead blocker. He's ran QB power. He's ran outside zone with a lead blocker from the quarterback position. We've also seen him Tim Tebow it and go up like he running it and throw the jump pass.
Yeah.
So even if you don't want to tush push it, you got a human wrecking ball back there.
Yep.
Put that sixth lineman in there.
That's a good point.
And he'll find you a spot. Because he don't need an inch. He can fall forward for an inch. And keep in mind, if he get it in shotgun, he got a head of steam. He got a head of steam going downhill, and he kind of know where he want to go before he can catch the ball by scanning the bubbles on the offensive line.
Yeah.
So you could do, like, you could have ran another tush push. You could have did some of this other stuff. That last play wasn't it. Because the only person that blocked worth a damn on that last play was the dude that don't play at all. Bullock. The only person that had some push on that last play was Bullock. Well, not the last play, but on that whatever, it was a little trap or whatever. And why are we pulling people on the goal line?
Yeah, talk about it.
Right.
Line up, run some duo, run some man-on-man block or something. Why are we pulling people? Because the Rams, all they do is slant anyway. And if they guess right on their slant and it's a puller, in the backfield. Or if you dive on the ground and roll. Mike ain't here so we can talk about his client.
We'll see tomorrow.
Right. We'll see if he. What you told me he need to do, Jose? He need to go into.
He gonna recuse himself. Recuse himself from this case.
Hey, I told Mike.
Go ahead.
I told Mike his client is like the dude that keep getting speeding tickets, but he go to court and the cop that pulled him over never shows up, so they keep throwing it out.
That's exactly right, because they keep sticking him out there. Now they like Sutton said, they claim they're gonna make changes, but I got to see it before I can believe it. I just don't believe nothing they saying right now. But question number 2: Cooper Rush struggled with 72 yards passing an interception and was replaced by Snoop in the fourth quarter. I don't know why it took so long. Was that the right strategy to replace him at that time? Should Snoop have started? And I'm gonna add a little extra part to it. If Snoop comes in at halftime, do you think we win the game, or at least have a chance to win the game later in the fourth quarter?
I don't know, man. Like, there's a reason why Snoop don't start in this league, man. He's had his opportunities to go out and make a name for himself. Like, it seemed like he gave us a spark because he could do more with his legs.
Mm-hmm.
Right. He also got sacked 4 times.
Yes, he got sacked, but in the situation he was in, he couldn't run the ball because you down 14, run the ball. So I understand why he got sacked, but the O-line, you know what that is too. But
yeah. I mean, look, I'm not saying could it have gone differently with him? Maybe. You know, like, could he turn the ball over? Maybe. Like in terms of passing the ball, I don't know if they're much different, these two. But yes,
true
the element of his legs getting involved in extending plays and things like that, he can do that a lot better than Cooper Rush. Maybe that would have been a difference in this game, but we're 1-5 for a reason, man. Like, everything goes bad for this team. I can't say that would have made a difference in this game, but to get us to win or not. I don't know.
Yeah, I think they're largely the same caliber of guy. What I will say is Snoop is more risk averse, and he's not a guy that's going to really turn over the ball that much. So comparing him to Rush, there's that element of it. I don't think Rush necessarily put anything on display from a passing standpoint that Snoop couldn't in this game necessarily. And I do think the offensive game plan going in was pretty sound for what they needed to do to try to steal this game.
mm-hmm.
So I do think it would make a bit of a difference with Snoop in there, because again, you have the element with his legs that can create some gravity. You have to kind of respect his legs, and then also that he's not gonna turn over the ball to the degree that Rush has. And I mean, honestly, man, like the game was there for the taking. So
mm-hmm.
you take one more turnover off the board, we might be looking at a different outcome if they would have just went ahead and started them.
True that, because him starting don't affect how bad the Rams played.
Right.
Yeah.
So, Go ahead.
No, I mean, I was just gonna say, Cooper Rush, 0 touchdowns, 5 turnovers in his time starting for the Ravens. Tyler Huntley comes in that game at the end and outproduces everything that Cooper Rush was able to do in just a quarter. He had 4 less passing yards, but he had 39 rushing yards on top of that. And I think it's just crazy to me. And this is another indictment on the front office. For an organization that claims to value continuity as much as they do, right? Why would you go out and sign a quarterback for $12 million who provides you none of that continuity in terms of the type of offense that you have installed currently with your primary quarterback? That kind of always baffled me. And them bringing in Tyler Huntley at the end of the offseason, right before the season started, that kind of gave me some hope, because I knew we would be in this situation if there came a time when Lamar Jackson couldn't go and Cooper Rush had to start. I would have wanted Tyler Huntley. I mean, I know we paid the money for Rush, but Huntley's right there for a reason. You guys saw those throws he was making. like the outside throw to Zay Flowers, the outside throw to DeAndre Hopkins. Like somebody said it the other day, I can't remember who, but they said that this Ravens offense, like it looks like they were playing harder out there, to be honest with you. And it felt like we had a chance, like the game was there to be had. So do I think that if the Ravens had put Tyler Huntley in at the half, would they have won the game with one extra quarter of work and showing the Rams that different look? I still think that they would have came short. They would have came just short. They might have put up maybe 10 points, 13 points, something like that, you know, but man, and I'm sure we'll probably get to the Zay Flowers fumbles later, but no, Cooper Rush should not be starting on this team anymore. It should be Tyler Huntley moving forward, period, if Lamar can't go.
Yeah. I vowed to myself I was going to stay away from Zay because I kind of went in on Zay.
Oh, really?
Yesterday.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
I stood on the soapbox and broke it yesterday. I went in on Zay yesterday. So, and it was random too. Somebody said something and all that it just came out. But
You weren't wrong.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty much with everybody else. I mean, you saw a jolt of energy, not only with the players, but the crowd as well. Like everybody was getting into it when they saw
People that was left.
Yeah, the people that was left when they saw Snoop go in there, and you know, he brought some excitement, brought some, you know, rushing with his legs, and you know, was able to get long conversions, which we haven't been able to get with Cooper Rush. And you know, obviously, if Lamar can't go, I mean, season's over. But I think you got to go with Snoop because you look at how the players respond to the player that's leading them. And when you look at the quarterback position, that's the leader of the team pretty much. And when Cooper Rush was there, it's kind of just like, all right, let's get into the huddle. Let's get to where we got to go. But it seemed like when Snoop was in there was a little bit more excitement, a little more oomph, a little pep in their step. And I think you have to go with that, with what you see on the field. And I think it's a no-brainer that you have to start him. And honestly, let's just say if Lamar can't go after the bye and we see Cooper Rush starting again, it's because of money. Like they're wanting to be right.
Yeah.
Kerry, did you touch on this one?
Yeah.
Okay. I just want to make sure I got everybody before I said my 2 cents. When Huntley got in the game, the run game was even more potent because you couldn't just crash the back end. Not to say Snoop can throw worth a flip, not to say he make the best decisions, but just the fact that you had better run lanes for Derrick Henry because you can't just crash the line of scrimmage. Like I said in one of the videos yesterday about the run game, when Cooper Rush was in there, the backside end was just crashing. He didn't care about Cooper Rush running. But then when Snoop got in there, the backside end and a secondary guy had to kind of, okay, let me make sure Snoop ain't got it before I take off, which made it easier for Derrick Henry, even though, well, Justice Hill, because Derrick Henry didn't even play the damn fourth quarter. So I feel like if he'd have started, we might would have had a chance to win. If the Rams played like they played.
Yeah.
Then that's the big caveat. If the Rams, because the Rams kept us in the game. Let's keep it a book. They kept us in the game.
Right.
And then, like you said, we made it ugly and mudded it up, and that was our chance to win. Because I thought we had no chance in hell. But as a matter of fact, John Jenkins sack fumble, whatever, gave them energy. And we always, as a team, wait for some individual to do something crazy, then the rest of the team get up to play. And that's what I felt like that fumble did, but it just didn't manifest itself into no points.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to number 3. Even though I felt like we ran the ball really well at first. All right, we committed multiple turnovers. Zay twice, Cooper Rush threw interception, and I added twice because it was Zay once. No, he fumbled twice. You're not putting that on Cooper Rush.
Yeah, I agree.
So how costly were those turnovers in terms of momentum? Not necessarily how bad they were, because if I'm not mistaken, it was 7 to 3. No, I see 10 to 3 at the time.
At the first one, I think it was 10 to 3, or was it still 3 to 3? I can't quite remember.
No, because they scored. They came out of halftime and scored.
Oh, that's right.
On that first drive, so it was 10. It was 10 to 3. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was deflating. I'm not sure what. I think the most deflating thing, at least for me, was not scoring at the goal line. That more than the turnovers. But Zay Flowers, I mean, he knew, like, especially on that second fumble, like, I think he checked out at that point. I think he knew. He's like, man, this ain't going well for me today. We ain't got it, you know.
Yeah, and then the first one is like, oh yeah, he's making something out of nothing. Okay, and then you kind of see that ball, and you're like, oh damn. And then you just see it pop out, and you're like, oh damn, here we go again. You know, that's just something that this team has not been able to do, and that's take care of the ball. You know, we've seen it in big games in the past, and you know, here it is again. And you know, unfortunately, they just can't get out of their own damn way. You know, I credit to the Rams for making the plays, but I mean, you got to put that ball away. You know, you're over here running around, you know, like it's Tecmo Bowl, and you know that these guys, they're gonna hustle to try to get you. You know, from you know, because when you look at the Rams, when you look at their team, they hustle. You know, you see their defensive linemen running down the field, so you know that if they're not there yet, they should be on their way soon. So either get on the floor or put that football away. And to just not have that kind of that awareness in the middle of the field when you're making all of these cuts is just it's a little concerning.
Run straight, Zay. That's what we was claiming. All the flock was claiming the whole summer. Run. He even acknowledged it. Yeah, I hear y'all. I'm gonna run straight. Well, you didn't run straight, motherfucker.
Yeah, just another example of lack of composure. Like, how many times, it's like a broken record at this point. Every time there's a key third down, you can count on the offensive line not picking up pressure. You know, in key situations, you can count on somebody dropping the ball or fumbling or missing an assignment. Like, and if we could just nail it down to one particular player, we would. But it's always somebody different. And so, like, you know, again, that starts at the top and flows its way down. Like, there has to be a level of composure there in order to build, you know, winning habits, in order to be able to be in these games and steal them. Because, you know, like you guys said, part of it was some of what the Ravens did effort-wise defensively, but part of it too was, you know, the Rams left some points on the field. The game was there for the taking, but the Ravens, you know, gave it back to them. And, you know, without 8 and with some of the injuries y'all got, hey, the other team don't need your help, man. They can beat you. They can just beat you. So you don't need to give them no help by taking over the ball.
Which is wild.
Know, just what we keep doing, man. What we keep seeing.
Yeah, it's just over and over. Let me before we get to the next one, let me grab these super chats real quick. We got a $2 donation from YNG Brew. He said he could have said left cheek, right cheek. I think he's talking about Warhop when speaking on Falele and Voorhees. And then he came back with 5 more. Said 77 looking like Ezel on Friday. My neck and my back. You know how much you can get for a slip and fall in the about 150,000. I sell a lot of court, but you just stand your big ass up and block. I've got another from Big E, aka Rave Kingdom. He says, "Hello everyone, Ben Cleveland, hashtag Ben Cleveland. Glad to see y'all. We glad to see you as well." We got another one from 86 Ghost. He was asking who's Warhawk, but I did see that one get answered. That's the O-line coach. Then he doubled back and gifted 5 memberships. So if you got a membership from Isaiah, please say thank you. If you got a membership from Isaiah, please say thank you. I think I've been doing a better job of putting stuff over there too for members and patrons. I got to do a little something more this week because I basically was on vacation last week. All right, next $2 from Incognito Gaming. Why did we sign a QB that I could beat in the 40? Don't know, man. Same reason. Why did we draft what's Hendo calling Dennis Leary?
Oh yeah,
Same reason. I guess they think that, like, if you got an offensive line like this, you can't have a non-mobile quarterback. When your offensive line like this quarterback room should still look like Josh Johnson, Lamar Jackson, and Snoop. It should have never changed.
Then that speaks to
go ahead.
Then that speaks to how the team was built.
Exactly. I was gonna bring that up. Exactly.
Yeah.
It goes directly into roster building because you thought you had good old linemen that any kind of quarterback can run the system. You don't think that crap no more. And if you do, you blind. You're blind. Then we got one more from Incognito Game, and he says, "I thought it was Lamar with the steel chair like in WWE." Then I saw that jersey coming out the tunnel with the jersey. Hey, I'm gonna tell you a story. We had well, I didn't do it. A friend of mine was working at a school, and their best player, for whatever reason, was hurt. And so they played the game, whatever, and it was a close game. I guess they thought they was gonna get blown out without their best player, but it was a close game. And I guess they, like one of the next best players got hurt. So they done patched this kid up a uniform. Got the knee pad from somebody, the shoulder pad from somebody, a helmet from somebody else, a jersey that because he had his jersey on, so he had his jersey on in jeans, and put that kid in. He only played the fourth quarter, and he made the difference. Scored 2 touchdowns.
Damn.
That was wild. And then was hurt the next week. But that's appreciate y'all for the super chats. Appreciate you, B, for gifting the memberships. And again, if you got one from 86 Ghosts, please say thank you. And thank you guys for the super chats as well. We're going to finish these up. We got a few more questions, and we got about 15 or 20 minutes or so. All right, next one. If I just click a button, it'll come up. I'll be forgetting that sometime. All right, Hail the Rams to just 74 rushing yards. Was that a bright spot? And why didn't it translate into a win?
Yeah, I think anything you can get on defense right now is a bright spot.
Yeah.
But no, I think it definitely was. We saw them shift to playing Kyle in the box pretty much 100%, and so that was a good thing to see. I think Gilman was as advertised. Like he filled rushing lanes and played smart, sound football. I thought that was good. Trenton Simpson, I think Mike posted a couple clips just playing fast and physical, man. Like, we know what he's facing. We know what the struggles are, but he ain't stopped being fast.
Right.
He has the physical ability, and I think you saw that. He played fast and he played physical, and he was able to make some plays. It's not going to be perfect all the time, but he was able to let that athleticism shine through. Okoye, I thought, put some good snaps on tape. So definitely some good things to take from it. Just a lot more energy as a whole from the group. The temperament seemed better. People didn't look defeated. So it definitely was a good thing to see.
Somebody say P Queen, Simpson like P Queen for a second. No. Patrick Queen ain't never been that big. Simpson huge. He is huge.
I agree they look better. But I mean that's not saying much. Like when I was in school and I used to get 35s on my math test, then I went to tutoring, then I was getting 55. So it wasn't much better. The Rams played a terrible game. Like they were just off in the first half.
Yeah.
They were off, and I mean, praise the Lord that they were, because it could have got ugly.
Mm-hmm.
But just sticking on to the performance of the defense, I think they did play a little bit better. It was a different kind of look that they threw out there, and you, like Kerry said, you saw Kyle more around the line of scrimmage, which I think we all agree is that's where he was in the talks to be a defensive player of the year 2 years ago, when he was down around the box and you had him doing multiple things, whether it was covering tight ends, whether it was rushing the passer, dropping back into coverage. To have him be that queen on the chessboard. So now that it seems like they're comfortable being able to do that with Gilman back there now as well. So hopefully with, with Gilman there and this newfound trust in having Kyle down there, and then you have Rowe coming back, who I get it, he's not 2023 Rowe, but you got Rowe and not a rookie in the middle of the defense. You got Marlowe coming back. Hopefully things can start to gel a little bit more with this defense, and we see at least an average defense, which is a big jump from what we've been seeing lately.
Sutton, you go? Did you go?
No, I didn't go yet. But no, I mean with this one here, I think that the Ravens, they still lost the game even though they allowed 74 yards rushing. It just goes to show how important the turnover battle is, right? You lose the turnover battle, you're going to lose the game. And ironically enough, for the first time this season, the Ravens actually won the time of possession battle too, and won it by a pretty good margin.
15 minutes.
15 minutes is crazy. So when you put those two things together, it really just goes to show you like this game is all about how many possessions do you have, right? And how do you take advantage of those possessions? And it started in the first half when like Chris said, it felt like the game was over when the Ravens could not score on the goal line, right? Because that's a possession. That's such a huge point swing. You know what I mean? Like you were supposed to get 7 on that play. You got nothing. You got 0, right? And then for Zay Flowers to fumble the ball twice in one quarter, that was really just like the nail in the coffin. So despite the Ravens not giving up 100 on the ground, despite the Ravens controlling the clock for the majority of the game and running for almost 200 yards rushing in total, they still lost because number one, they couldn't score. The offense is just completely inept without Lamar, and number 2, they gave the ball away. So it's just to answer the question, carte blanche. That's what it was. You gave the ball away too many times. You lost the turnover battle. You're not going to win any of these games if you lose the turnover battle. Period.
True. You spoke on possessions a minute ago, and that made me write it down. And I remember this from doing my research yesterday. We had 9 possessions that game. Our scoring percentage on possessions was 11% because of the field goal. Our field goal percentage was 11 because we had it. I think it was called a defensive whatever. Like I guess them stopping us was 36%. It was 40-something%. So the defense had a better percentage with our possessions than we had it. We scored on 11% of our possessions. That one field goal, that's it. That ain't gonna cut it. Especially not being in the red zone. Because honestly, the way you was running the ball that first drive, you should have scored a touchdown, not a field goal. 2 darn penalties by the offensive lineman. And then after that, you just played in the mud for a long time. So, crazy. Situational football, man. We've been talking about situational football even before the season started. I didn't use that situational football thing I made on ChatGPT. I know I didn't use it 7 or 8 times because it's what we screwing up at. And what better situational football than 2nd and goal from the 1 and you don't score? That's a lot.
You have to show me what you're talking about, Coach. This ChatGPT thing that you made. I want to see it.
Okay, I'll get it for you in a second. Once I get y'all started, I'll go find it. Let's see how much did injuries or lack of depth affect the defensive performance?
Not much. I mean, they started out bad. They're a bad defense. That's the whole reason why I didn't like the Malachi Starks pick. I honestly didn't like the Mike Green pick without going O-line in the second round. I mean, I think they're going to be good players. Don't get me wrong, but we invested too much in this team on defense, and we don't hold them to any kind of standard whatsoever. All right. We went from this supposed to be a top 3 defense to, hey, let's try not to give up 28 points. Okay, can we just keep it under 28 points and let's try to get 1 turnover. Like, no, man, get turnovers. If we give up 3 turnovers, we got to force 3 turnovers. Like, this is supposed to defense that's supposed to get the ball back, right? And they weren't doing that when we were completely healthy. I don't think the way it's being coached. I just don't think whoever you put in there is going to make a difference. That's why I didn't think CJ for the 2 minutes he was here was going to make a difference. That's why I didn't think whoever we're looking to trade for and bring in, if it's on defense, I didn't think it's going to make a difference. Like it's so much more than the players. I think we have capable players right now, who we have right now. They gotta be put in positions to win. They gotta get somebody that can inspire them to play, more physical football. But we won't have that on this coaching staff.
There it is, son. I just made this in Chat GPT, and it has applied to a multitude of videos.
Okay.
Damn.
So like, yeah,
I don't even know what prompt I put in the Chat GPT, but it spit it out.
I have no words, man. I mean, it's just goes to show where we are as a team right now, right? Like, it's the little decisions, man.
I'm gonna pivot real quick because I know we close to our time, and this is a thought that I have, and I want to get you guys' opinion on it. And a lot of people out there saying, who's out there that we can trade for to make us better, or who can we pick up to make us better and help us, going forward, winning games. So my philosophy is similar to what Chris Canty said yesterday. We're a 1-5 football team. Mm-hmm. We are sellers right now. I don't even think we make a move until you got to win these next 2 games, and then you can think about making a move to get you better. Because if you make a move now and you end up stinking the rest of the year, you gave up a premium position in the draft slot. And I ain't saying a premium pick, a premium position. Because if you make a move and you give up a draft spot and we finish with the number 8 pick or the 7 pick or whatever, but if you make that move, that 7th pick, and it's probably gonna be first round, but in another round it's gone. And anytime you pick in the top of rounds, you got a better chance of getting good players. So my thing is, we can't even think about making moves until we win these next 2 games, because I think that's the trade deadline. And then you got to factor in what's really your goal to get out of this season. Am I crazy, or does that make sense?
Makes sense.
Yeah, definitely makes sense.
Yeah, I don't think you're crazy, but if you do trade, let's say you trade for a player. I don't have one in mind, but let's just say for whatever, let's just say we go back in time, right? And Micah's on the Cowboys, on wanting a new deal. Now, if you want to trade for a Micah Parsons type of situation for a young player who you can extend and who can be an immediate impact, then yes. But if it's just for a 1-year rental, where you're mortgaging your future for a guy who's not going to be here for a long time, then no, I'm not on board with that. I do think they could make some small moves that can help this team. When you talk about a guy like a Kevin Zeitler, who I don't believe would cost much draft capital. Obviously, I mean, for as bad as the Ravens are, the Titans are sinking ship pretty much. But I think that's a guy who would come in immediately and help them out. Now, he's not going to be Kevin Zeitler from 5 years ago or anything like that. Obviously, he's a declining player. He's older. His play isn't as good as it once was. But I think he's somebody who can come in and kind of settle things on the offensive line, just at least a little bit, and make it look better just by having a guy that you can rely on there.
Yeah, I agree with Chris.
Yeah,
he shouldn't have left.
You're right.
There was no plan. I mean, we all thought the plan when they said, all right, we're gonna let Kevin Zeitler walk, because it wasn't for money, because he signed for like $40,000 a year, so it wasn't for money. So it's like, okay, we're gonna have this infusion of youth on the offensive line, which is always a good idea, but you need to have those plans in place. We thought the plan was, it's Ben Cleveland, no brainer. So he's going to be on that Ben Powers type of trajectory. Yeah. And no, they said, you know what, we're going to take Daniel Faalele and put him at right guard. And obviously 2 years later, it hasn't been good at all. So there's just been no plan since that move was made.
Just kind of piggyback off that. Like, I think I agree with Coach. I think they gotta see how this next game come out the bye goes, because I'm looking at the schedule. If the team hasn't quit on their coach and they're still bought in, you got the Bears, the Dolphins, Vikings, Browns, Jets, Bengals. Right, those are your next handful of games. We should be able to go on a run if this team, these players are like, no, we're all in. We stumbled out the gate, but we ready to go now. We should be able to go out there and take care of business. That first game is going to tell us what we need to know about this team. Because if we struggle against the Bears, we sell.
Hey, we struggling against the Bears. Get that wrap it up box.
Wrap it up, B. So I will wait until at least that game. If we go out there and we on fire, maybe we turn the corner and then you can start looking to add to the team. But we got to see how bought in these players are. And if they're not bought in, then it's definitely time to move on for Harbaugh. I don't want to go through a whole season where a team is just going through the motions with this guy.
Gotcha. Hey, Sutton, that you're a little younger than us. Did that go over your head?
Wait, did what go over my head? Say it again.
The wrap it up box.
Oh, that's right.
Oh, yeah. Nah, I didn't catch the reference.
Okay.
That was on the Chappelle show.
It's on the Chappelle show. When,
it's on the Chappelle show. Oh, okay.
When you like the skit was, people was at the award show saying, I want to thank this person, that person, that person. They came up there with a box that said wrap it up with the hit the button. And they basically like wrap this shit up. Get off the stage. I think you can go back and check out some of the old Chappelle shows. Definitely used to watch back in the day, but it's been a minute. Definitely been a minute. Is Wayne Brady gonna have to step up? Help your couch. My bad. Well, I remember
that's probably my favorite one. That's probably my favorite one right there.
The Rick James one.
Yeah.
That was really good. Hey, Jose, what did the five fingers say to the face?
Slap.
Chappelle's a genius. We'll get out of here on this one. We got one super chat, then we'll get up out of here. Hold on, let me get that super chat. Well, we got three actually. I didn't see that one.
Okay.
He says, sign my dog Puddin as the OC at this point. I don't think Todd that bad, man. I think it's just tough to do behind them guards.
Yeah.
He said, we can upgrade our whole line right now for EDC. We'll consume more. Hey, comedians. And Donovan just trying to say, you should have titled this stream is water wet. Hey, situational football, man. Hey, feel free to use this wherever you need to. If some stupid stuff happened the rest of the season, go get this off my Twitter and everything and just start posting it. Like when John throw red flags and there's no need, post situational football. So feel free to grab it and use it. But the last one is this. I know it's number 9. And we kind of talked about it a little bit. With Lamar Jackson expected back after the bye, can he salvage the season? Can he be Superman and put us on his back? Or is it should we just cut our losses and be done?
Definitely shouldn't cut our losses. That's for sure. I'm not really with like punting on the season or anything like that. You know, I do think that Lamar Jackson can turn around this offense, because when you look at what was going on before he left with the injury, we were averaging 30 points a game.
Mm-hmm.
Without Lamar Jackson, we're averaging 6 points a game. So like some people think it's like a touchdown difference that Lamar Jackson makes, maybe like a 10-point difference. It's like, oh no. Like he provides way more spark than that. And so I definitely think that he'll be able to like salvage the season in such a way that we're not going to go 1-16 or anything like that. I could realistically see the Ravens going a solid 7-4 or 8-3, you know, over the next 11 games. However, the problem with that is you lose more than 2 more games, you're approaching that mathematically eliminated, you know, kind of status, right? Especially with how the AFC is right now. It's so weird right now. You've got teams at the top of divisions like the Chargers, right? I don't foresee them winning their division. I think that the Chiefs are going to rally and win that division, but the Chargers will still be competitive. Also, the Broncos are jockeying for position in the AFC West too. There's only but so many wild card spots, right? And only but so many more losses this Ravens team can have. So if we get to a point where, like, you know, I think from here on out, every game is going to feel like a playoff game, because every game is a must win for the rest of the way. It's a must win. But I hope that it doesn't lead to Lamar Jackson feeling like he has to press like he does at times, which we've seen lead to him getting injured before. We've seen that lead to him making mistakes and costing his games ultimately. So it's gonna need to be a team effort. And I like what we saw from the defense, only letting up 17 points. They were top 6 in the league in passing defense this past week. That was beautiful to see with Kyle Hamilton playing closer to the box. Love to see that. Also, the outside zone runs to Derrick Henry. I know you did a video on it, Coach. Yeah, you got to give a round of applause for that, because that seemed to be like what was working, and hopefully they can kind of replicate some of that going forward. It's a lot of good stuff to look at going into the bye, but it's really gonna come down to this: can this offensive line become more consistent? Right? If the answer is yes, then the Ravens can absolutely, it's possible, go on like a 10-1 or maybe even run the table. To be honest with you, this team is still that good, I believe. But if you don't, if this line still isn't getting any push and you got guys falling all over the place and blowing up, runs and stuff like that, then it's going to be tough. But realistically speaking, I think that this season is, don't want to say over, but it ain't looking good. It ain't looking good. I'll say that.
Chris?
Yeah, I mean, I pretty much agree with everything Sutton said. I mean, when you have Lamar back there, damn near anything is impossible. I mean, the offense was humming with him. Now it's just like Sutton said. Can the O-line, 2 questions. Can the O-line and can the defense at least be average? That's all we're asking for. If you can just be average, then everything else will fall in place if Lamar is your quarterback. That's all he needs, because he can't go out there and get picks himself. Like, he can't go play defense and get turnovers by himself. Like those things need to be at least average. And right now, defense has been well below average. Offensive line well below average. So if they can just get to that point where they're at least creating some turnovers, like, look at the Jaguars. The Jaguars don't have the most stout defense in the league. Like, they're not a team where like the Texans, where it's every single yard is going to be a hard earned yard. But they'll take that ball away. They'll create turnovers. If we could just get a little bit of that, like, we're not asking you to be the most stout defense in the world, but just create some turnovers. Just like the John Jenkins played. Like, I felt like I haven't seen a turnover on defense since the year 2000. So it was good to see that. But they just be average. And when you have Lamar, anything is possible if those two sides could just be average.
Yeah, I agree wholeheartedly with what both of these guys said. Another thing I'll say is going to be key, as great as Lamar is. Some of the stubbornness we've seen from the decision makers, is that going to continue? Because if so, it's gonna create a harder job for him to try to rally the troops. Harbaugh. I mean, I'm not holding my breath on this as far as the offensive line. But, practice what you preach. If you said it's going to be open, you say, it's open for anything during the bye week, then let it be that. But if we come out with the same group of guys, then hey, how much do you really want to win, or do you want to just be right? So to me, that's going to be a main primary focus. If decisions that you made, which are clearly poor decisions in hindsight, are you willing to shift off of those and make the best moves for the football team? That's what I want to see.
Yeah.
Ole?
No, I mean, everything these gentlemen said, like, I'm gonna go back to what I said before. I'm looking at the schedule coming out the bye: Bears, Dolphins, Vikings, Browns, Jets, Bengals, Steelers, Bengals, Patriots, Packers, Steelers. If this team hasn't quit, if they haven't quit on Harbaugh, I want to stress that. If they haven't quit on Harbaugh, if they still bought in, they can win 9. They can go 9-2, something like that. Like, these teams are very beatable. A lot of these teams are very beatable. The O-line, are they going to get better? If they get marginally better, that'll help. The blocking overall will look better because we'll get Pat Ricard back at some point. So that'll be a bonus to the blocking scheme. Defense just has to get a little bit better, and I think they need to make a move. If they're going to make any trade move, it needs to happen on the offensive side. O linemen are hard to get. People don't give up the O linemen, but I'll be calling the Jets to see what we can get off of their team. Even the Garrett Wilson, I think they'd be willing to move on from Garrett Wilson. But that's you, Coach?
Yeah, that's my wife.
Hey,
I don't run now. Come on. You close it though.
tell us hi. But yeah, I mean, make a move that can get a spark on the offense. Garrett Wilson, anybody off of that Jets team. I mean, they are sellers right now. They should be looking to do a fire sale. But yeah, that's what has to happen. But see if they can beat the Bears coming out the bye. See if they can beat the Dolphins, and see what they're looking like. And if they're looking like they're playing inspired football and they can get back on track, go in on the offense. Don't waste your time trying to salvage the defense. The defense is going to be what it's going to be. Get Lamar protection. Get them some players that can help them move the ball down the field. And yes, there's still everything in front of us. It's early. It's early, but we gotta see what they look like come out the bye. That's gonna be everything.
I agree with everything you guys said. If we can, these first two games are crucial, and not first one. You got to win both of them before you can start to your wheels to turning. But as much as 5 or 6 in a row sound good, those teams that you listed off, technically they're better than us.
Yes,
technically. So, yeah. like Canty said yesterday, it's hard for me to put 5 or 6, 7, 8 wins on a team in a row, and you sitting at 1 win now. You are what your record says you are. So, that's week 6 Ravens Roundup. Everybody's link is not in the description, but it will be within 5 minutes of us getting off of here. We got 2/3 of the Deep Cover podcast. I'm gonna ask, but they may not answer. I got something cooking this week.
We trying.
Oh, we got to get Mike out the tree and we'll see. Jose, you and B, catch y'all where?
Every Wednesday night at 7:45 p.m. Eastern time on the LBHT show. That's on channel Lunch Break Hot Take. And you can check out our overtime show on our Patreon, patreon.com/LBHT show.
All right, and as far as Sutton, who did 2 hours before and then jumped on here with us for an hour, what about yourself?
Yes, sir. You can find us on Mondays and Thursdays at the Purple Rain Podcast YouTube channel, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then also you can find me pretty much every day that we're not doing PRP live. I'll do Quiet Storm Sports, which is another segment of our channel. It's pretty much every day around like 4 p.m. Eastern Time. So come check us out.
All right, and as for me, you can catch me here on Sip the Tally Films. You can also catch me on more Sip the Tally, where I'll be probably in the next 20 minutes posting a Mike Penix video because he was out there throwing dots on the Bills yesterday. Him and Drake London gonna be a problem if they stick together. For real, for real.
And we got
oh, I think that's what they said. I now I get the joke. I was talking about Big Penix energy, and he said he had that pink thing on his. I get it. I think that was D Wiz. Y'all